Like, we are live.
Yes.
So, a very, very, very happy evening to all the wonderful Wow Talks viewers. And I know a lot of you are super excited about today. I am too. And if you can just see the faces, the heads moving, the energy, the smiles, you know why I'm so excited. So, a little bit about Wow Talks before we move on. So, Wow Talks has been my effort, my uh, just way of spreading a lot of cheer and not fear through these times. It's one of those mornings I woke up and I was like, enough of these messages on the coronavirus, enough messages about SSR, enough messages about all of this. I need a break. And because I can't take a break and go out, I thought, let me do something fun and take a break with, cool people. So since then, we've just been having a lot of fun guests, different people have been joining in, and amazing things have been happening through the Wow Talks. I mean, people across the globe have been joining in, and they're like, in that 1 hour, we forget everything and we're just with the people, we're enjoying that real people, real emotions, real inspiration. And that's what this talk show is all about. So today I have two couples, as you can see, and they're color coordinated. Yellow, yellow, beautiful fellow, blue, blue. I have no clue what's going to happen. So we have some phenomenal people with us. I'm just going to introduce you to them. So this is the ones. Can the beautiful sunflowers please give us a nice wave? So that is our couple, the doctor couple. It's Dr. Raghavendra. Hi, doc.
Hi, love you so much.
Love you so much. And that's Dr. Shweta.
Hi.
They both not only match color clothing, they're matching each other's smiles also. And can you make out that they both are dentists? See those perfect row of teeth with white. It's like, okay, you just know that they're dentists. So Dr. Raghavendra and Dr. Shweta run Raghav Dental Care Center in Bangalore, and they have huge dreams. They're doing, they're creating so many beautiful smiles across the globe, and they're not just a doctor couple. You're going to get to know what more they have, and their aspirations are really sky high. So welcome doctors. Very excited to have you both, and a lot of things coming up. Hopefully that smile will just keep stretching.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
With you, it should smile always, right?
The other two people are, for a lot of people, they don't need any introduction, because a large part of the world knows this couple. The ones in blue, Purni. Hi, Purni.
Hi.
So that's Purni, and that's ASK. AS Kumar, who calls himself, yes, ASK. Ask him anything and he has an answer. And one thing I must tell you about Kumar, ask him for help and there is no way you won't get it. If you ask him, it's done. It's like that. Kumar, I'm sending you my list after the Wow Talks. For now, we'll focus on the talk. So Kumar and Purni together represent Divya Swaroop Financial Services as well as the Vision Point Consultancy. This is just two. Honestly, Kumar has too long a list, which if I start talking about it, 1 hour will go in that. Since that's not the focus, we'll stick to this. So I'm very excited for this couple special, and the topic for the day is this crazy adventure called marriage. Okay. I think, and I have a feeling they're going to do this to me. I'm just going to keep laughing. So forgive us, but just join the fun and let's go on a ride together. So I want to begin with the couple in blue. Okay. And by the way, I don't know how they're color coordinated, and this wasn't planned. It just happened. So awesome it is. I want to know one thing, Purni and Kumar. I've known you both and I've interacted with both of you. Purni, you are so quiet, centered. You speak like when spoken to. Kumar is loud, dhamaka, masti, a firecracker. So, do opposites attract? And how did how do you both kind of manage these opposite pole apart personalities?
Yeah, very true, Megha. That I don't speak much, whereas Kumar talks a lot. uh, he talks 1,000 words. I talk probably 10 or 20 words. That's it. So that's how. But that is the whole concept of the love and the bonding is all about. You know what? People say clap 2 hands, you get only sound, but in this, by one hand, my Kumar is love enough to make all the sounds, all the noise. But we complement each other in every other way. Like, he's good in talking and good in something else. So in that way, the life balance is really good. There's no race. Oh, I talk this much and you talk this much, then there becomes a race. So in this, if he takes over, I settle down. Some days you won't believe that he becomes quiet, and that time I burst out. That is that happens little rare, but it happens sometimes. But I have noticed it that sometimes he never opens his mouth at all. He stays quiet. That time, I don't know from where I speak and where I burst out and where I dance and where I do all those things. I still don't know. But that has happened in life. What do you say, Kumar, about it?
I just wanted to give her that space, because very rarely she takes that space. She allows most of the space to me. I won't even say it's like 90-10 space ratio. Because I love talking, I love people. I love with people. I love being with people. For me, if you leave me with people is enough. I can have fun. So for me, talking is natural. So I don't have to take effort. To be silent is basically a tough job. And thanks to our guru, he has made me to be that also. So in that space, I think opposite complement, and that's why the attraction happens. In my case, lot of areas I have, whatever I'm weak at, I'm not good at, she complements it. So I will leave that space for her, and we complement each other. We believe that for major areas, we should have common principles. For minor areas, we should allow that space to difference to exist. The difference only will make it beautiful.
It's so beautiful that I love the way you both are talking and relating. And, it's like what I loved is when Purni said that imagine if we both are racing. It's like because she's good at something and you're good at something, it's like a balance, it's like a tango. Otherwise, it would be a race. And I can reflect that to me and Arun, my husband. It's like he just loves cooking and I love eating. So it's like a perfect match. Like, so everywhere, and I don't know if you all have noticed this, I'm going to even ask you about this, but have you all seen that always in a couple, one feels too hot and one feels too cold, especially at night?
Yeah.
There's always a war going on of like, I don't know what. So, yeah, and I think that's what adds that spice to the marriage. So, how is it for you guys, doctors? Is it that you all complement each other? Are you all opposite? Are you all very similar? Tell us a little more about both of you. They just looked at each other like in perfect sync, like, are you starting or am I starting?
It's always like we love to be together all the time, and so we practice together all the time. So we have a perfect, kind of know what is hot and who is cold at each point of time. For example, she is a very early riser. She gets up at 4:30 in the morning and she is doing all her work. I am the one who's going to bed very late. So we complement. So opposites do attract. So I take care of all the house in the night, and then she gets up in the morning and everything is done. So even in the clinic, when we are working together, we need to be that, harmonious with all that we do. And then we have to, make up for whatever it is only in the house. So we go back and tell you should have done this, you should have done this. Till then we are very cool, composed and all that.
Yeah.
Then we get up and then we again make up and then move on.
Yeah, we enjoy each other's space and the way we have been growing over all these years. A lot of our personality is
groomed into different individuals. And I think it's really, as they have told, few things we are blessed with. I am blessed. He is blessed with a few beautiful qualities. I think that's how we have to merge and move on, and it leads to a very blossoming relationship, and we are thoroughly enjoying it.
It's so beautiful to hear. Like, so often you hear very cynical jokes about marriages. You hear people talk of marriages in a very not nice light, as if it's something to be made of fun of. But just hearing the two of you and the way you are enjoying this relationship, the way you're blossoming, makes me very happy. And I'm sure the viewers leave us a lot of hearts, because I'm feeling a lot of love right now. So tell me more. I mean, Kumar, I know you already have your hand up.
No, I wanted to just give with your prepared question, just be a pass button.
Absolutely.
To give that one story of something which will see. I went into looking at the bride ceremony, to look at her. It's an arranged marriage. So I went with the 17 questions to tick with her. And she was 21, I was 24. I went with the 17 questions. For 1.5 hours, I had the question session. She has no idea about marriage, no idea about to want to get married. And she was not even 21, I suppose. So it was like for her, after answering all the questions, or
A correction, one second. I didn't even answer any question. I only listened to all the questions.
We must have not given you.
I should say that, yes, exactly. It's all about statements.
She's telling, move on.
I gave some questions. I made some statement. She said. So it was like after 1.5 hours, her relatives came in the window, in the door. They were telling her, enough, completed, time out. We are all waiting down, all that. And moment she said in affirmative to all the points. I said, I okayed it. But she did not okay it for 1.5 days. She put our family in suspense, and my mother till that day, you have talked something more. That's why they are not giving you confirmation.
Kumar, I can imagine you asking the question, you only answering it, and then you only saying ha, and she's just watching. Okay, one TV show is going on.
You got a sense of what is going to come throughout her life.
I'll tell you, finally she agreed to her father, saying that I don't want to go through another 1.5 hour session with anybody else. Let me complete with this.
Absolutely. That's amazing. So cute. So, in fact, I want to know which is the most adventurous thing that you all have done as a couple. So, I want to hear it from the doctors first, because they look a little more like, okay, What's the most adventurous thing you've ever done in your marriage?
We had our uncle in Mumbai, your place, and we just decided to drive all the way from Bangalore to Mumbai. And my parents and all were like, no, you can't do that. How can you do that? Only two of you. They just married, and they were like, no, don't do that. No, we told we wanted to go, and so
By road,
by
driving.
road,
In the night we left.
Whole day and night we drove and went to Mumbai, and it was an amazing adventurous trip. Enjoyed in Mumbai, moved around Mumbai, and then came back to Bangalore. So we rate that as the greatest adventurous thing.
At that time, yeah, it was
At that time, we felt it to be great to do that.
So sweet. When is your next adventure? You come, you're going to join me for a cup of coffee.
Definitely.
And for you all, Kumar and Purni?
See, I will rather tell you that marriage itself was an adventure for us. The way we got married, way we had our 3 months of pre-marriage dating and all that was adventurous. For her, everything was raw. She came as a raw product, and I had the background of something else. So with my family background and all, she's the only daughter, and we are 4 brothers, 3 brothers and 1 sister. So all that, so however, if Doc is talking about a travel, 2 trip comes to my mind as adventurous. In fact, I can honestly say, between us, we are less adventurous compared to Kirtana.
Yeah.
Kirtana is like multi-adventurous girl. However, to this one, the trip we took from Amritsar
To Jaipur.
in the night.
Because our flights were cancelled due to weather conditions, and we had other programs after Amritsar, Jaipur. We had Jaisalmer and other things, so we have to reach Jaipur. So only choice was to take a cab and go.
And it's raining and all
it was raining heavily, and the weather was very bad, and we have to reach Jaipur. So we have to travel all the way to 12 hours from Amritsar to Jaipur all the night, and the route he took was not the highway. The guy took a different route. So it was so scary, and we were like chill. It was chill outside. We were even more chill and cold and very, 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 very scary with Kirtana with us. She was young at that time, and literally, like, we were praying God that we should reach, first see the sun, the night and the forest and the kind of roads, the narrow roads with no road, proper roads. It was like
even today, if you think about it, it's a little scary. And the Dehradun, Missouri.
Yeah, there also we
had
never been to any cold place. So that was the first cold city we went, and that too we went during December, and we didn't have any proper winter clothing with us. So we didn't even expect to be. We were just having a sweater and something. But there, if you go and see, it was 3 degrees, and we didn't have any clothing to wear. That night was a bitter night for us. Like, oh my God! Like,
with us at that time, there was another couple, dentist doctor with us, Dr. Padmanabhan, and
so it was the 2 adventure. And then after that, we don't take much great adventurous. We are not adventurous.
We are crazy. We are crazy, but
not adventurous. The adventure came into our life.
Oh, being with them is an adventure, Megha. Being with them, it's a big adventure.
Actually,
So what you do when
the way you all are talking and jumping and all that itself is an adventure. So I guess
see, the craziness in me is an adventure. If somebody stays with me for some time, doctor knows that we will create enough adventures for their life. Okay.
in fact, I should add over here, I had met Kumar, and together we had gone for a A.R. Rahman concert. So that night he's telling me that, see, Purni has gone with her school friends to Radisson. So tonight I'll wear a burqa, and it's a girls' night only. So in a burqa, I'll go and I'll attend the entire thing. So at some point,
that even today, their friends are still not able to come over it. How I went at 1:30 in Radisson, went and dashed against them.
Scared.
All that and it was all covered in video back. We had people to cover it in the night 1 o'clock. All that. I love to do that.
so in fact, that
is there in life.
That brings me to the next question. A lot of people I talk to, like a lot of my friends, a lot of people, they say, like, after a few years, the marriage becomes a little boring. And, like, we are there, but the focus is just the kid, or the focus is our career, or the focus is things. Marriage is like one of the by the way things. I mean, this is all girls talk, right? That's how a lot of people say. I want to know, like, when I see the 2 of you, right, the 4 of you, you look like still very alive, fun, excited, enthused, laughing. And I know this, that it's not just for Wow Talks. I've seen you all in real life, and you're exactly like this. In fact, you're a notch higher. Right now, you're a little subdued because we're live. So I want to know from both of you, how is it that you all keep that excitement and that maza alive in your marriage? Because that's going to help a lot more people to do it.
In my opinion, that has to first, individually, you should be very lively. See, you cannot live because somebody has come to you. That means you have to be individually lively. If you are allowed to be in the room and you can be lively to yourself, that means you have first passed that. I think she is individually alive. I'm individually alive. Combined, it's a power alive in power alive. So it's like crazy. So that's where you need to enjoy every mode of life. And 30 years, I can talk every year what happened, what all things, new things we did. All that I can still talk about year-wise, 29 years of married life. I think I can talk about it. What lessons we learned, how we went through that period, how we enjoyed every period. But one thing is, the word for me is celebration. I celebrate life. I celebrate all the functions. So we all celebrate, both celebrates everybody's birthday. In the road, somebody's I know birthday, I celebrate it.
Yes,
That's Doctor.
is a celebration, and what I've seen in Raghavendra is there's always a kind of lot of pranks happening in the house, and he likes to give some surprises, and he's so unpredictable. You don't know next what he's coming out with, crazy ideas, and he pulls everybody out of their cocoons or zones. They come out, and then he's like, every moment it's like we don't know what, and then he's played a lot of pranks even in the whole house and sometimes in the clinic, and that really makes a lot of happy moments, or everywhere there's a kind of liveliness in air, and then naughtiness, a childlike exuberance. I think this is how we have carried over all these years, and it's amazing.
For me,
fun.
for me, Megha, it's more like Shweta is a sounding board for me. So I tell something and then she responds, and I don't actually wait for how she responds, but it makes me get more clear. Okay, this is how we are going to do it. And it creates a bit of confusion. Oh, am I going to do that? Actually, I would not be doing that. But in the marriage, what happens is when you communicate, and not necessarily, necessary things, but you communicate, just communicate, you get an idea of what's there in her mind, and your mind clarifies something, and then you move on. And then you then you reach a correct decision. So we just tell, do you like we should go somewhere? And then the question will be, where would you like to go? Then you understand that, okay, we have to go somewhere, something like that. And you become a sounding board to enjoy life. So the marriage works more with the communication. And the moment the communication is not there, then the communication becomes, you don't know what the other person is trying to tell you, or what they want to respond, or how are they going to respond. Suddenly I tell, come on, let's go to, other part of the city. You just can't, enjoy that. So slowly you build the momentum, communicate. For every decision we do that. And now that we have the kids in the house, and we'll have to tell them, take them along, all of them have to enjoy. So we go to we have this Kaban Park and Lal Bags in our city. So when we go there and feel that all together as a family, we feel very fresh, especially in the mornings. So I feel the gist or the thing in the marriage is how you communicate, how you celebrate in what you do. And then you don't actually have to count the years at all. Years just fly by.
That's so beautiful to know. And Kumar, I loved one thing that you said, that I'm alive, she's alive. And that's why when we come together, it's alive by the power of life. Like, one thing I just want to say, with the viewers as well, is that in fact, I have like a spiritual friend, or a daughter who I call. So she's in New York, and she, like, I keep talking to her, and always it's like, Didi, when I get married, I'll become happy. I always keep telling her, you're happy, and then you'll take that happiness into your marriage, So I've seen that when you are alive and excited and living the moment by yourself every moment, by default, that gets translated into the marriage too. And like you both said, doctors, it's like you're friends before husband and wife. Like Mahathir so beautifully often says that, are you a friend? That is more important than all the other things that come in. So I think that's an important tip for anyone to take back, that it's so true, right? Like when you are complete anyway, you go and complete the marriage. When you're incomplete, even in the marriage, you end up feeling incomplete, right? And then friends, you just maximize and kind of enjoy every moment even more. Yes, Kumar, I know you're waiting. Please. So tell me more about, Purni, let's hear it from you. What's that one most important learning that you've had in this crazy adventure called marriage, that is keeping you so young, so excited, so fulfilled at all the time?
The thing is basically, for one thing is you have to be patient and you have to give and take. Is one major takeaway. See, probably what I like, he might not like it. Probably what he likes, I might not like it. And he has also given us the freedom what I wanted it, and I also give the freedom what he wants it. Okay, it's always, and also we have a very good principle when we both got married. One thing which really attracted me, or which really put strong in my mind, is the 51-49 principle.
I'll explain that. The one of the 17 points is, in our marriage, nothing called equal. I will tell you, I'm coming from a chartered accountant policy. A board meeting where it is equal, it's called stalemate. Stalemate. In chess, it's called stalemate. 50-50 doesn't work at all because there won't be any decision making. This is my understanding of it as a chartered accountant. So I told in the 17 points, one of the point was our relationship will always 51-49. Wherever it concerns your family and your body, you are 51, I am 49. Otherwise, I am 51, you are 49. Then only somebody can take the veto power to decide, otherwise you will be stalemate. This is one of the very fundamental principle I still go by in any relationship. Don't talk about equality, talk about who has to take the final call. Who has to take the final call has to be understood, otherwise you will not move forward. This is my understanding.
Yeah.
I've shared it with, this was my third point or fourth point in my 17 points. I don't remember all the points, but I remember that this was very well said.
So that's the thing. So that was that kind of give and take in that particular ratio and patience. If you don't like certain things, suppose Kumar doesn't, Kumar sometimes really goes crazy in a crowd. But I feel it is too much. But I can't say that to him, okay? So I understand one thing is that he is like that. I have to accept and go. He is like that. I cannot change his character. So I accept those things and I just enjoy it.
Yeah, after some time she has no choice but to enjoy it. That's the fact is that last 5, 6, 7 years she doesn't even stop me from doing any of the crazy things.
Probably, yeah. Beginning I used to say, why are you doing like this? But then I realized that there's no way. Then he's unstoppable in that. So if I stop him, then the relationship will be a little not too great. So I just said, okay, let him loose. Whatever, let him do whatever he wants. It does give me the freedom of doing whatever I want. Not that I'm being controlled. I have been given all the freedom what I wanted. Go with my friends, overnight stay or any place, whatever I want to do, wherever I want to go, whichever day, part of the day I want to go. He never questions me. So there's always a kind of balance between both of us in everything. And that one principle.
The people have taken over that 80-20 rule and conveniently made it into a 59-49 rule.
51-49, 100.
You know, I've never heard of this before, and it's so amazing because really everyone says equality, but I like this perspective because it's like if everything is supposed to be equal, like he said, who makes the decision then? So literally, you know, I mean, it's interesting. It's a very interesting concept to hear of, and the fact that you all are implementing it is amazing.
And I tell you, after 18 years, in one of the instances where relating to her mother, she evoked the rule, reminded me, I am the final decision maker. You cannot take decision. You have promised me 18 years back. That's our relationship. So I know that this works very well. And I kept quiet because it was 51. I told her mother, her parents, decision will be her decision. I cannot interfere. Final decision. She can take all the inputs from me, but final decision. And this rule applies to you and your daughter, children, everywhere. You need to have that 51-49 to close a difference of opinions.
So in the chartered accountant's family, this is the rule. I want to know for the dentist, what is it? Do you all have some 32 something? I mean, how does it work for you all?
Okay, I think we believe in happiness in small things of life, very small day-to-day activities, which gives about a lot of happy moments or happiness. and success in big things of life, and devotion on one thing, integrating our being and doing, and meditation and nothing. I think this is a very profound learning from Atreya, which we follow it, and we feel, I think that completes uh, a beautiful way of living which he has gifted us.
That's amazing to hear it. So it's nice to know that you all have some formulae or the other to make your marriages work. I mean, it's once it Kumar, I'm talking.
You can do whatever you want, but he will only talk.
This is my space. I mean, just to say one thing that we always think that life is a flow and marriages are a flow and everything just happens. But hearing it from both of you, I actually feel that you all do have your mantras, you all do have your formulae, just the way one would have in their professional life, that this works, that works. I think one important thing is that marriage too has to be worked upon. Like, it's not something that just happens by the chance, right? Like, the way you'd work on everything else, you have to work on this. And it does need its own formula, it needs its own mantras, and that's how it works, right? I mean, that's something I just realized as you all were talking. Yes, Kumar, please.
I mean, there are a lot of instances which comes to my mind immediately, how these marriages can be worked out. In fact, I think it's a quite appropriate at this juncture of life, where the easy to get differences and focus on the differences, than I can write 100 things about Purni, what is great about her. Okay, I can also write out why Shweta Ravindra left.
They'll come back. Must be a network issue.
Okay, no problem.
It was fun for them to handle Kumar.
Okay. So, whenever I think of any differences about Purni or anywhere, I start counting her pluses, and that makes it very interesting. Very interesting. It's it's an awesome feeling to get a partner who, in a sense, I always tell her, she will say, if I'm a chartered accountant, it will be nice for you. I said, you would have not married me. If you are, because it's not necessary that you need to have same profession or a professional. As long as we understand our roles very clearly, what roles, when, what to do, when to do, all that, I think the marriage can work. We need to have that compromise formula.
Right. In fact, that brings me to the next question. And Purni, I'd love it if you also answer this. Like, tell me, obviously, when two people come together, they're bound to be difference of opinions. They're bound to be fights. They're bound to be ego clashes and a lot of things. How is it that you handle it? And any tips for the viewers as to how to handle differences in relationships and in marriages?
So definitely in everything we have differences, right? From suppose, I will have something to cook in the morning, okay? I'll have something in the mind. But anyway, I'll ask Kumar, what do you want? He'll say something, suppose if he does most of the thing, I would say that 80 to 85% he will say what I have thought. That one match I have seen many times. It's very simple instance I'm telling you. But suppose if he says something which is really not in my mind or my taste, but see, what I always believe is when I cook, I should also have the taste bud to do it. Then it really comes out well. So if I really don't want to have that, then I will try to change him, what kind of a thing. But if it really doesn't work, I just have to adjust. Okay, you just have to adjust. What is important is you have to adjust and be patient. This is what is very important in a family life. Understand your partner's need and understand your partner's whatever the mindset. Suppose he might be coming, he might be having some work pressure in office or something, or he comes home, he throws away everything and comes in, but still a little reflection comes on him when he enters home. So the spouse has to really understand the manner in which he enters home, the manner in which he does his work, and then accordingly approach him for any of the next question or any of the thing. That is very important, I feel. What do you say?
I can tell you that one word changed my life in 19.
There's some disturbance at your end, Dr. Raghavendra and Shweta. Can you put it on?
Yeah, they will. Yeah, rather has put on hold, put on silent.
Yeah.
Smile. See, one word really changed my life after attending one of the NLP sessions in '98. I remember he taught me the word of I understand how do you feel. I understand how do you feel. That sentence, that after that session, that night I was able to use it to Purni, and I found the difference in the impact of that sentence. She needs that empathetical approach to that to her problem. So I understand how do you feel is a mantra in my wherever it is told in the with the feeling, not for mere sheer of words. If I can say that, I know it works. And we will have difference of opinion, but if the difference of opinion is on the subject matter alone, not on your character or not on your it should not be on a bigger role, only on the issue base. If it is issue based, you can sort it out anytime. So you need to have that feel of empathy on the other person. Just because she is not working or not fully time in office, I can't take her life easily. Like
so
that.
one more thing is we shouldn't carry whatever the difference of opinion or the fight or the kind of thing happening later. That minute ends. The later moment, it has to be like, oh yeah, come on, cool guys, let's go do that, this, that, everything happens. Only in that particular moment we can have the kind of conversation or kind of a.
She is one who will forget what she did yesterday.
Yeah, if I have done a mistake, I will forget it next day itself what mistake I did. I will not carry it. Or if somebody has done the mistake also, I will forget what they did. I that particular habit on mine, I fail.
Doctor, yeah, Shweta, back.
Yeah.
I was not the reason, no. I was not the reason, no.
I think this
Hands up.
this is like taking real people, but this is marriage, right? Everything is not going to be perfect. I mean, right now I can think, oh my God, why so much? But this is marriage. This is the way it's going to be. So I love this sentence. You're good, great. So one sentence that you said, Kumar, I understand how you feel. I literally think that can become a mantra for everybody, not just in marriage. I mean, marriage is one thing. If we could use more of this, can you imagine where the world will be? I understand what you feel. Can we just, all of us say it once together?
I understand how do you feel.
Just saying it makes you so happy, right? So, docs, y'all are back, and I want to know one thing from you both, that when y'all have disagreements, okay, like it's natural in any marriage, any relationship, how do y'all cope with it, and how do y'all kind of bounce back and get over it?
The video is cracking. Can you hear us?
Yeah,
you have to do.
you clearly.
Go ahead. Even though your video is frozen, you can talk.
Yeah, go for it, doc. I think it'll take them some time to come back. Let's get their network sorted. Kumar, look at this. Look at the way situations work. You love to talk.
I'll tell you.
Sharing the stage with 4 people, now you only have to share it with 2 people. I want to know a little more of I know we spoke about this, but it's still something that I personally would love to know more about. That, it's like when people are so different from each other, okay? One way is to enjoy the differences and make the absolute most of it. But sometimes those differences also get on, right? It's like you want, like Purni said, that sometimes I'm like, why are you talking so much or why are you so loud? So in those moments, is there like one mantra, one sentence that you remember that kind of tells you it's okay? And I'm asking this because I know I have this sentence for myself where I just keep saying, keep small things small. So every time Arun and me have some kind of a thing or some friction, the sentence literally doesn't even come as words. It's like I can see it in writing in front of me. Keep small things small. So can you tell me one more way in which you all deal with the differences and actually celebrate it?
For me, Ravindra, are you there? Yeah, his eyes are moving.
Yeah.
Not the teeth, not the teeth. Okay. Yeah, he's come back.
Yeah.
Great. See, I can tell in my opinion that how she behaves, I've little studied her, and she has studied me very well. See, we have to invest time on studying each other first. So, because it's a life, and we are going to spend more time together. So, there has to be investment of time in us, and I know in this issue, she will be like this. There will be a lot of, if I don't talk now, when it is hot, she's hot, I should not even, my silence is the best answer. Actually, leave a gap for overnight, everything can be solved. We don't try to have a solution at that minute. If that is ego. If you want solution at that minute, that means you are settling for a ego answer. Like I'm right, you are right, or something. Allow it. Actually, we need not be both. We both can be right, both can be wrong later. We will understand each other. So I think overnight helps us.
Yeah, keeping quiet in silence will actually give us a right answer later on.
Correct.
So for me, so differences will be there. How we handle at that moment, we sometimes do a pause button,
Yes.
or accept it. At this moment, there is no solution, but maturity will come next day for a solution. So that only can move on. If you more poke at that time, it will become a.
Yeah, it'll rupture a lot.
Correct. It's so true, right? To know when to speak and to know when not to speak is such an integral part of every marriage, because sometimes when you're feeling that emotion, and see, in a marriage, you know each other the most. You know your weaknesses, you know your past. So to be able to bring up something which is very hurting is very easy. So that moment when you pause and you just calm down, you're able to tackle that situation so much better, right?
I remember, because doctor is not, he's allowing me to talk more. I remember when Kirtana was 3 years, I wrote a 7-page letter, and I have the copy of it. How to parent Kirtana, my understanding. And that even today I read it, it makes a lot of sense for everything. So which I can't explain to her in person. I took effort to write down and give it to her the next day morning. It made, today if you look at it, I think that will be some of things need not be told in person. You can have a handwritten letter to express it. The other person can get it out at a leisure. I think doctor is back.
Doctors, are you all back?
Or you have to give more centerpiece to us. Okay, go ahead, Maya.
Yeah, doctors, are you all back? Are you able to hear me? Are you able to respond? I don't think so.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's.
Yeah. So another thing, I mean, we're talking a lot about relationships. We're talking a lot about marriage. We're talking about so many different things. One thing that I've heard a lot, okay, from a lot of people, and I know this is totally out of curriculum, but often in marriage, it's not about just the two people involved, right? There's so many other people who, from your own child to your, friends to this thing, all that kind of comes into the picture. I want to know from both of you, how is it that you manage the other relationships within the marriage? I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
One very important quality of Purni
Yeah.
she moves excellently well with her
Laptop.
mother's wife and sister and my mother, my father, and I move with her father and mother very well. So we first our inner circle, that other circle, no, that we started making it very close. And one more important point is we don't allow anybody to corrupt us. Any friends or anybody else, we are on the same page. In even when we have a difference, we are on the same page. You understand? That is a very important. How you allow somebody else to enter in between corrupts or disturbs every other thing. So it's best that we have understood our relationship. Who is our first circle? Who is our second circle? Who is our third circle? And we have lots of friends which you can't even imagine. She has her very close 30-40 friends. I have actually not everybody I kept in one distance, and I have all friends, lot of friends. So and we have guests always at home.
No, but it used to be a lot.
A lot. Okay, we are missing it now.
Like, I want to know, Purni, like you, I'm a relatively quiet person. Okay. So, like, I love my silence, I love my space, and I'm a people's person when I want to be, but I'm not a people's person when I don't want to be. Now,
Yeah.
Kumar comes with so much of people and this and exuberance. So, how, like, what is that quality that's kind of helping you to enjoy this and it doesn't get on too much? I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, it's, yeah.
So it is initially it was I know the thing is I came from a family a little similar to my dad is, okay. So he also comes with a lot of sudden guests and said ask my mother to cook and serve and other stuff. So it was not something very new to me that particular way. So when he comes with people, I initially it was little suddenly they have come, what will I make? That jitter it used to come. You know, how do I entertain them? What is to be done and what I have some plans next half an hour, but that's going to go. Now after that, when you think about it, like it's after all his friends, and I know what is there his happiness. If you're going to spoil his happiness, it's going to spoil my happiness in life.
Wow.
So
She did a lot of homework to change, to accept me. In fact, I will always give her to manage me was a lifetime achievement award has to be given to her, because I'm like the hot boiling water always.
always boiling.
It's like not a 1 hour, 8 hour. It's a 24/7.
Correct.
I love that, and she's really compliments into that.
See, I have to accept this character.
Doctor, are you there?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
finally we have them back. But let's hear the concluding remark from Purni and then I'll take it to the doctor.
It is like, you have to accept it. Without you don't accept the natural quality, which is the inbuilt quality in your spouse, then your life is at soup. Okay? So you just have to accept it and then go help him or go along with him. Life is beautiful.
That's so true, because it's like all of us have, and I'm sure the doctors will agree, and I'm going to come to you all soon, that each of us have some qualities which are our core. Like some are habits, some are, things that we move with. But like say for me, creativity, bubbling with enthusiasm, all this is a part of me. So that way someone questions me, I feel very jittery. Whereas other smaller aspects, if someone corrects me, I don't mind. So I love the way you say that you have to understand and study your spouse's, core habits of, and we have to learn to respect that, because that's going to help us to build something beautiful. So docs, are you all back? Can you?
Yes.
Yes. We want to know from you something that I asked Purni and Kumar as well, that when, and y'all also work together in the clinic, then you go home, you're also together. It's like two people who are together so much, they're bound to have difference of opinions. There are going to be so many conflicts. How do you manage it personally And also, how do you all manage it professionally? I'd love to know this from you.
Um, Actually, yeah, we have disagreement, and but what we have seen over all these years is there's a kind of maturity in the way we are handling with the same situations, and it's like certain things what he likes. I know exactly this is not going to be the way it is. What he accepts, and then what he I don't want, he knows that. So now it's going a different platform, like. With that emotional maturity, you know, uh, anything of his or anything of me is not going to disturb the happiness and peace. That's going to be intact. And much more than what his life and my life have become our lives, still a part of his life is his life, my life is my life. I think that has to be cherished and, moved on with uh, the dignity intact and the respect intact, and the compatibility has to be, you know, uh, uh, has to be there throughout. I mean, that's how I think we have grown over all these years.
That's wonderful. Doc, I want to know from you, Dr. Raghavendra, like at home, that's how y'all can do it. Now at the clinic, when y'all are together, I want to know, how do y'all handle difference of opinions and all the other things that come up?
Over the years, what has happened, Megha, is when I tell something about this patient, this is the line of treatment that we'll have to do, and she will say, no, this is the line of the treatment we'll have to do. We both wait and we see the results. And then when the results come, she tells, this was supposed to be done. And I tell, no, I told you already this was supposed to be done. So we have a practice. So what do you mean by practice? We are learning in the process. So it is only the patient's concern that dominates everything. And then ultimately what happens, even if some of us is wrong and we continue with the line of treatment, we already know in the back of the mind, this is the thing we have to do. And then we do that. So what happens is over the years, we have refined that to a certain extent where I tell, no, I think you'll have to do it a little more like this compared to that. She listens to that. And when she doesn't listen, I'm waiting. Yeah, don't do that. We'll do that later. And so the fun is always there,
Yeah.
and then we move on with it. And now in the house, what happens? She is with my two sons. So these three people team up together and always see to it that, there is some mistake which is found and we laugh at it. Like, we leave our dog Lycan out and he ran away yesterday. And then it's like these three people, you only made him running outside. So we know that, and then at the end of the day, it is like, okay, I'm only sorry. Or the kids say, I'm sorry. Or she says, I'm sorry. And then it's like, by the end of the day, we are like, okay, pals now, forget it.
These differences are there, but it's again how we gel it back into our life. And
So if I can sum it up from what I've heard from both the beautiful couples is that Purni and Kumar will just pause. You will not, if there is a moment of heated discussion, rather than saying things you're going to regret later, they'll pause. And and you just don't, it's like I like one sentence that Kumar said, that ego is trying to solve everything that moment. We can't solve everything, Sometimes we think that the minute we get married, we're going to have that Mills and Boons, perfect Anushka Virat marriage. That doesn't happen, right? I mean, it's like you're growing into it, and you're going to keep growing into it even when you're 80. And from doctors, what I hear is that what I'm sensing is that you just don't take the differences that heavy. It's like, it's a difference, keep it there, deal with it, and move on, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so that's beautiful. Those are wonderful learnings. There's still so much more to ask and say and do, but time's running, and I want all the people, our viewers, to experience some fun over here, okay? Because, like, one thing we said, that marriage, beyond all the learnings, is all about fun and keeping that fun intact. Now you can see Kumar, he's almost jumping out of the screen. Okay, so we need to take a moment to have him dance his heart out. And this is something that keeps their marriage alive. I think they whenever I see you both, no, Purni and Kumar, you're always moving. You're always like in action, dancing, this thing, that thing. And I think you're never still. Okay, unless you are really choosing to be still. So can we have one fun? Kumar, this is your dedication to Purni. So whatever you want to tell her, you're going to tell it through this dance.
For me,
Dance around her.
dance is energy. Okay, and I can dance any part of time. I don't need space in the road, anywhere. No need to. You just see me any road, I can dance with anybody seeing me.
Please don't tell me. There are a lot of embarrassing moments where he dances and I really can't help it, but I have to take it. That is Kumar.
Kumar. I mean, it's
And
ridiculous saying
my instruction to my driver, instruction to
Kumar,
my
you danced for Purni today.
You know what will happen? We'll be going in the car, suddenly some Bharat will be going. Some Bharat, some city, some place, whichever city or wherever it is. Immediately ask the driver to stop it and he goes start dancing with them and go. That's all. You know, I first initially I said, what is this? Then I said, okay, take it. Oh, he's like that. Forget it.
we're learning so much on these wow talks, not by the talking, but just the way it's like, yeah, this is it, you know, like it's it. So, but Kumar, the difference is through your dance, the next 2 minutes, we want to know what you feel for Purni. You're going to express it through your dance. How?
Okay, I don't know. Whatever I dance, she likes. So that's
No,
what
romantic dance.
romantic. For me, fun dance.
That's not never come between both of us.
Romance is where we live.
Every live is for me romance. So he likes always a kuttu dance. Or he goes like, you know, he cannot, his food won't stand when he hears a kuttu song. So I will go to put him on a kuttu song for him to dance.
And without getting up, without the leg, I'm going to dance.
Okay. Audience, are you ready for one fun?
And dance.
So this is a crazy adventure called marriage, and this is Kumar showing you the best of it. Let's hear it. I have to give it to you. When you said, I'm alive, you are really alive. I mean, and I could see Purni, it's so cute to see you both together. She's like,
That is going to hit me.
I don't know how many times he has hit her.
that's what it's all about, right? Like, it's like, you know, it's crazy, you know, it's this, but you still enjoy it for what it is. And that brings me to the doctors. Now, Shweta and Raghavendra, as you can see, are very, you know, subdued, sophisticated. So,
This is village, that is city.
so if I tell them to dance, they'll never come back on my talk show. So instead, I request.
Song dance.
So instead, I'm going to ask Shweta, Doc, can we have you sing a song for all of us that to you really represents love, marriages, something that the viewers are just going to connect to and carry back with them?
आंचल के तुझे मैं लेके चलूं एक ऐसे गगन के तले जहाँ गम भी न हो आंसू भी न हो बस प्यार ही प्यार पले एक ऐसे गगन के तले सूरज की पहली किरण से आशा का सवेरा जागे चंदा की किरण से धुंधर घन घोर अंधेरा भागे कभी धूप खिले कभी छाँव मिले लंबी सी डगर ये खले जहाँ गम भी न हो आंसू भी न हो बस प्यार ही प्यार पले एक ऐसे गगन के तले एक एक ऐसे गगन के तले.
Beautiful, beautiful. This is one of my favorite songs, and it's our family song as well. I'm just thinking to myself, if we get a few things right in our marriage, right? And marriage is the basis of so many relationships. Isn't this song going to become a reality that let me take you to a world of heaven and let me take you to a world of laughter and love? And that's the reality we can create, right?
Yes, yes. yes.
So true.
We should. We are all products of Maitreya. We should do that.
Absolutely.
We have a responsibility.
So before we sign off, I want each of you to give one beautiful marriage tip to all our viewers. Just one sentence that just works for you. It could be a repetition. Let's reiterate something if it means a lot. Let's leave the viewers with these 4 sentences that they're going to think over and they're going to mull over through the week.
And for me, it is you have to understand your spouse inbuilt quality, his nature, and adjust. If it doesn't match, just adjust and move on your life, and never break up just because for little things.
Beautiful. Kumar?
I understand how do you feel. This is a powerful sentence for me. And 5149 is the rule for mantra for me. No 50-50.
You
I have, okay.
Shweta, for you?
It's more of how much I give than I receive. So it's more of overpouring of love, or the more you give rather than expecting how much I'm receiving is a mantra. And I believe that you have to give each other space, and rather than encroaching, it's going to be a beautiful journey. Uh, uh, and a happy woman and a protected love by a husband, I think that's going to make a marriage very, very beautiful.
Wonderful. For you, Doc?
I feel giving love is the most important thing in marriage, because if you expect love from your spouse and then what do? I feel that love is the most important thing in the marriage, and you pour your love to your wife or your spouse and then just watch the magic. Then automatically there is always the reciprocation, and I believe love is what makes the marriage work.
Absolutely. He says it so
See
beautifully.
the loves is pouring in.
You know that we just got two size is what they would
I think love and energy can be our tagline.
Absolutely. And I think for me, I've just held on to this. Keep small things small in a marriage. Because no point, I mean, there are going to be 100 things and it's like a cycle, right? 2 wheels are needed to make you go wherever you want to go. So may as well just keep small things small and freak out. So it's beautiful to be with you all, and amazing session. I thought it was so real. I think the best thing is how authentic you all are. You know, even y'all leaving, coming in with that network issues. Kumar, don't embarrass me, Kumar. This is him doing it, okay? This is not a gimmick, please.
No, I felt people deserve this to see every time. It has to be.
And I
Good things have to be talked, but all the good things have to be talked loud. It's not about how you have to. Good has to make noise. That's it.
And Megha, I'm really proud of you, the way the book has come. I've read the book. I love the book. At times, reading each chapter creates tears in my eyes, and I have to, just sit down for some time, for say about half an hour, to understand what has gone through all those 11 people. And I'm really amazed that, the way you have written for each one of them is so different. And I would like to place it that, you've done an amazing job. Love you so much.
It's so true. It is entering directly into the heart. Reading makes it like, it's like we need the CP moment after each one's, the chapter. I mean, it's really beautiful. It's hitting directly to the heart. That's true. Whatever you write, it makes us feel something from within. It's reaching there.
Megha,
Thank you so much.
showing this was not planned. It came in between last second, and I'm happy that I was able to remember this and do it. It was instant. It was instant.
I'm like utterly embarrassed and blushing right now, but thank you so much. Thank you. And a very, very, very beautiful evening to all of you. Thank you for giving yourself so completely, and love you all.
Love you.
So
Love
much.
you, dog. Dog, love you.
Love you too, dear. Love you so much.
Loving you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.